today. A biennial team outing to San Diego that's become something of a D-back tradition. Let's take a look at the umpires for our ball game tonight. Eric Cooper, the crew chief, is behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes as they turn in the lineup cards. Quinn Walcott is our first base umpire. Sean Barber's at second, and James Hoy is at third. Well, it appears we have a few extra moments, Bob, so why not do your Valley Honda dealers key to the game?
Why not? Zach Godley taking the mound tonight. Zach Greinke taking the mound tomorrow. It's a Zach attack against the Padres here at Petco Park, and both Zachs have been on top of their game.
Yeah, back-to-back Zachs. Godley looking for another win here tonight. He comes in 13-6. Greinke with 12 wins goes tomorrow in the finale of this 4-game series. And all the pregame festivities have concluded. The Padres take the field, and we are finally just about set to go. San Diego is reeling right now. They've lost 5 in a row. They are last in the National League West, 29 games below 500 and 21 games behind the Diamondbacks division lead.
There's some things to like about this Padres ball club. They have some athletic young players that look like they may develop into legitimate major leaguers. They've got veterans like Clayton Richard on the mound. But it just hasn't ever seemed to mesh here for Andy Green in San Diego with this ball club. You see the numbers for Clayton Richard this year, coming off an outstanding start against the Angels. He took a no decision, but gave up 2 runs on 4 hits over 8 innings in that ball game.
Yeah, he is your Ram truck starter for San Diego. He has given up more earned runs this year than any pitcher in the National League. And he is winless in his last 9 starts. Andy Green's ball club, 48-77, the worst record in the National League. E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the Padres defense today.
Manuel Margot out in center field. Hunter Renfroe in left. Travis Jankowski in right tonight. It'll be Will Myers again at third base. Freddie Galvis and Corey Spangenberg make up the double play combo up the middle with Eric Hosmer at first. Austin Hedges behind the plate for left-hander Clayton Richard.
Padres have really struggled to win in their own ballpark since the middle of July. They are 2-16 here at Petco Park. Woo. D-backs looking to make it 3 straight here and get their 4th win overall on this road trip. As we mentioned, the offense has been clicking a little better lately. And they have back-to-back Zachs here, Godley and Greinke, over the next 2 games. John Jay, the one-time Padre, set to lead it off, and we are finally good to go on a Saturday night in San Diego.
Yeah, you see those kind of numbers for the Padres here at home. What'd you say, 2-16 over the last 18 home games? And right away you think, well, boy, the opponents are really comfortable. And are we ever comfortable here in San Diego? The hotel's right across the street from the ballpark. You can walk over here whenever you feel like it.
Weather's always great.
Weather's great.
Terrific setup.
Beautiful facility, yeah. Opponents are very comfortable coming into San Diego.
Diamondbacks have made themselves right at home, unbeaten in this ballpark this year. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. John Jay to start in left field against the lefty Richard. David Peralta, as Bob mentioned, missed last night's game with a stomach bug. Still not feeling 100%, but Torey Lovello tells us David is available to come off the bench. In the meantime, John Jay has been terrific on this trip. 2 more hits last night, 3 hits in the series. Hosmer well off the bag at first. Richard gets over there to cover. 1 away. In the 2-hole for the 2nd night in a row, batting right-handed against the lefty Richard, it's Eduardo Escobar. Those 75 RBIs, a new career high. 277 with 18 home runs. Another big night at the plate last night for Escobar. He homered, had 2 hits, walked twice, and scored 3 times. Not bad.
That was a satellite off that scoreboard out there on the facing of the 2nd deck.
And that one is by. Myers at third and down the line in left. Eduardo Escobar, leading the major leagues in doubles, has another one. That's his 43rd.
Applause, I guess so. Fastball on that inside part of the plate. He wastes no time in shooting that one down into the left field corner past Will Myers. No yellow shoes tonight for Will.
Well, the Diamondbacks have scored a run in the top of the first inning in each of the last 5 games on this road trip. Trying to make it 6. Here's AJ at 280 and 15 home runs. AJ has homered twice in his career against Clayton Richard. 5 straight games scoring in the first. 4 of those 5 games, they've actually scored multiple runs in the first inning. And no team in the majors has scored more first inning runs than the D-backs this year. 105. Put up a 2 spot in the top of the first last night. And that one is fair down the line. Here comes another first inning run. 1-0 D-backs. Back-to-back one-out doubles. The RBI for AJ. They have scored in the first inning in 6 consecutive games.
This time a breaking ball that stays in the middle of the plate, and AJ keeps it fair down into the left field corner. Hunter Renfro's been busy already. 3 batters into the game. He's had to run into that corner twice.
Once again, a D-back starting pitcher gets an early lead, and here comes the red-hot Paul Goldschmidt. And Richard throws it into center. AJ gets an extra 90 feet. Looks like Spangenberg was a little late getting over there, and the throw was offline from Richard.
Now, one thing about a pickoff at second base, you do not have to throw the ball. You can't balk to second base, so if you see your middle infielders late getting to the bag or you don't have a good grip on the baseball, just hold on to it.
Well, as our producer Brad Weimer will tell you, Richard was once a Michigan quarterback, so he can't really throw all that well anyway.
Incomplete.
It's a joke. Relax. Michigan guys in the truck love us. Infield comes in for the Padres. Breaking ball away, misses. Goldie on fire right now. 2 more hits last night. He also walked 3 times. A home run in the first in the ball game last night. His 4th home run on this road trip. He's ahead 2-0. Just got it started. A 2-run home run from the cleanup spot last night off Joey Lucchesi.
Well, I talked about it at length last night. I love it when a player pays attention to the game. And we talked about Joey Lucchesi just pumping fastball after fastball in that first inning.
That is knocked into left center. AJ, come on in. 2-0 D-backs. Goldie now with an 11-game hitting streak.
As I mentioned, Goldie watching from the bench in the on-deck circle saw Joey Lucchesi throwing all those fastballs and just absolutely lit one up on the first delivery. Catches this one out near the end of the bat, but strong enough to muscle it out into left center field for an RBI knock.
So Goldie has now reached base safely in 37 consecutive road games, extending his new D-backs record, which he set last night. Here's Steven Souza Jr. Souza hitting .258 with 3 homers. He had 3 hits last night. He doubled twice and knocked in 3 runs.
Goldie now hitting .394 lifetime against Clayton Richard.
Stay hot.
That pink slip. He owns the pink slip.
Well, Goldie got it started, but it was Souza that really had the back-breaking hit last night. That 2-out bases loaded double in the 6th inning. The game at that point was still close. It was 5-3 D-backs, but Souza broke it open. And he's had the hot bat lately. He's hit safely in 3 straight, 8 of his last 9. 1 off the wall and 1 in the gap to right center. This was the big one with 2 outs in the inning and the bases full.
Yeah, really nice hitting there. Pitched down low and away, stayed right on it, shot it into that gap in right center, and the runners were in motion, so Goldie comes all the way around from first base to score.
And Torrey was saying that, you know, at that moment, the momentum of the game could have gone either way. Souza took care of that. Jankowski near the warning track in right. Goldie will stay put at first. Two down for Nick Ahmed now. Nick hitting .242 with 16 home runs.
Is this a preemptive argument? That pitch was inside.
Don't start again. Well, he singled in last night's game before he got ejected by the plate umpire James Hoy. And you know, in looking back at it, Hoy, to his credit, really did give Nick some leeway to make his case before he finally had to run him for arguing balls and strikes. That one carried a little too long. Myers has it at third. They go the short way for the force on Goldie. And the Diamondbacks strike in the first inning again. A 2-0 lead for Zach Godley in San Diego. .43rd double gets it started for the D-backs, a 2-0 lead. For your Ram Truck starter, the right-hander Zach Godley, 13-6, the most wins on the Diamondbacks staff. Godley has lost only once in his last dozen starts.
ERA just a tick over 4, but most of that came before July 6th. His ERA before the 6th was 5.07. Since July 6th, it's 2.42. I mean, that's a dividing line for Zach Godley. July 6th.
He has been outstanding his last several starts in particular. Travis Jankowski, the right fielder tonight, looks at a strike. We're underway in the bottom of the first. Jankowski, 259. He's homered twice. Jankowski, very good speed. He doubled the leadoff Thursday's opener, 1 for 5 in the series.
Two-strike fastball from Zach Godley. That's a little out of the ordinary. Normally Zach goes right to that curveball in 2-strike counts and continues to throw it until he gets the batter out. And we've seen a lot of pitchers recently kind of go away from what we figure is normal for them. Lucchesi last night in the first inning just throwing fastball after fastball after fastball when we've seen him throw nothing but junk in his previous 3 starts. Maybe Zach Godley trying to switch it up a little bit here tonight.
That's something you would anticipate in the middle of August here as the season gets late?
I think, yeah, especially when you're facing an opponent that has seen you and knows what you feature and certainly have done their homework before this start today. That time Zach Godley all fastballs to Jankowski to record the strikeout.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the Padres batting order tonight.
Jankowski just struck out to lead it off. He's in right field. Will Myers, the third baseman. Eric Hosmer will be at first base. Hunter Renfroe out in left. Corey Spangenberg at second base. Austin Hedges doing the catching. Freddie Galvis at short. Manuel Margot in center field, and lefty Clayton Richard on the mound.
Well, Godley has come out throwing nothing but strikes. Myers back in at third base tonight. D-backs have the shift on. They overload the third base side against him. And the curveball's a strike, 0-2. Myers at 259 and 9 homers. StatCast AI powered by AWS. That's why they have 3 defenders over there. Godley fallen off the mound a little bit so far. Kind of yanked that fastball. Myers last night 0 for 3. Walked twice. And Will Myers has been a very difficult out for Zach Godley. We talked about Goldie and Clayton Richard. Well, it's advantage Padres here. Myers 7 for 15 career against Godley, including 1 home run.
Whoops.
He's fallen off the mound a little bit here to start off.
We talk about this all the time when the Diamondbacks play this exaggerated pull shift for a right-handed hitter. Paul Goldschmidt is the only defender on the right side of the field, but unlike a lot of first basemen, he gets way over in the hole. I mean, he's almost playing between first and second, halfway. Now, he knows how far he can be off the bag and still get over there in time to cover, but for people that don't play a lot of first base like myself, that is scary, getting that far away from the bag.
Long way from home. He always credits Lyle Overbay for teaching him how to play so far off the line at first, like he usually does. He's got a lot more range out there than most guys. 2-2 on Myers. Cannot check on the curveball, and Godley has struck out the first 2 he's faced. E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look at the Diamondbacks defense.
Hasn't needed anybody but the catcher so far, but just in case, John Jay will be in left field, A.J. Pollock in center, Steven Souza Jr. in right. It'll be Eduardo Escobar at third, Nick Ahmed at short, Ketel Marte at second, Paul Goldschmidt at first, John Ryan Murphy doing the catching tonight for right-hander Zach Godley.
First baseman Eric Hosmer. No overshift from the D-backs against Hosmer, who looks at ball 1. He homered last night, a beer-aided home run, his 12th of the year. 257. Yeah, John Jay still trying to dry the beer off of that glove.
Well, and I've looked at that play a dozen times since it happened in the ball game last night, and I still don't understand how that's not fan interference.
Well, the ruling was that the interference did not take place in the playing field. It took place, according to New York, in the stands, even though it sure looked like the beer was over the fence when it hit the glove.
Well, fortunately, it didn't hurt him in the grand scheme of things.
And here's another look. The beer that the fan extends, it sure looked like he extended it out over the fence. It clearly hit John Jay's glove, but where it hit the glove is the dividing line, and they said it was in the stand, so no interference, and the home run stood.
I think it was very telling when Eric Hosmer got back to the bench and he saw the replay on the big board. It looked like he was ready to put his helmet back on and go back up to the plate or take his position defensively. I don't think he thought he was going to get the call.
Early video evidence seemed overwhelming, but if you look at a replay enough times, you can convince yourself of anything. Just watch an NFL game and you'll come to that conclusion. Well, Hosmer able to check on that curveball, and Godley walks him after striking out the first 2, brings up Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe 244 and 13 homers. Got a couple of hits in the series. He's doubled and homered. One thing that's been especially impressive lately about Zach Godley in this recent turnaround has been the control. From the beginning of the year through a July 1st start, he had walked at least 4 batters in a start 6 times. But he has cut way down on the bases on balls as of late. In 8 appearances since July 1st, he has walked more than 1 batter in a start only 1 time.
Now, since July 1st, he's averaging over 4.5 strikeouts per walk. Before that, it was just a little under 2 strikeouts per walk.
1-1 on Renfroe. Zach had a couple of starts this year when he walked 6. I mean, it was getting out of hand there for a while, but he has really reined it in. One and two on the Padres left fielder. Hosmer over there at first. Always watch Zach Godley's flow out there. Is he under control? Is he coloring inside the lines, as it were? He's yanked a few, and when he starts yanking a cutter or a curveball, that's when he starts to fall off the side of the mound, and that energy is not directed toward the plate, which is where they want it. Renfroe reaches out and taps it to short. Ahmed gets the force on Hosmer, and we'll head to the second at Petco Park. It's a 2-0 D-backs lead.
Rung up and eventually ejected by James Hoy last night. I talked to Nick earlier today. He said on an inside strike earlier in that at bat, he asked Hoy if that was on the plate or on the corner, and he said corner. And so then when it was further inside and called, he was upset with that. And Nick said, yeah, he let his emotions get the best of him. He was aware David Peralta was down and unavailable in that game and needs to be more aware of that in the moment, because guys, also, if you might recall, back in April of 2016, Nick's other ejection, Shelby Miller ended up playing left field because it went into extra innings. So, you know, Nick says he's going to try not to let his emotions get to him, but he was still a little bit upset today.
Will Myers, a nice pick down there at third, and they retire Ketel Marte. Yeah, and looking back at it, I mean, Nick was walking away from Hoy, and then he kind of turned over his shoulder and said something. And I think to Hoy's credit, he had given Nick a chance to state his case, even though you're not supposed to argue balls and strikes.
Yeah, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but I agree with you. I think Hoy gave him every opportunity to plead his case, and then at some point the umpire says, that's it. I've heard enough. You've stated your case. I've stated my case, and go on back and sit down. And when you say something after you've had the palm, you're going to get run.
Well, a start tonight for John Ryan Murphy against the left-hander Richard. John Ryan at 208 and 9 homers. This is only his second start this month and his first since August 5th. Here's a little tapper for Richard. Quickly 2 down in the second.
Well, no surprise getting ground balls off the bat of Clayton Richard. Most ground balls induced this season. He's got about a 30 lead over Miles Michaelis from St. Louis. And since last year, he has a huge lead over Mike Leake and Dallas Keuchel. This guy's a dead ground ball pitcher. Sinker, slider, everything moving down.
Yeah, both these guys are really. There's the total of ground ball outs. He is number one. He is number one in ground ball percentage. There's a quick pitch to Godley that Zach fouls away. Richard, a ground ball rate of about 57%, the highest in the majors. And because he's such an extreme pitch to contact guy, he's usually pretty economical. He doesn't throw a whole lot of pitches every inning. And he can get you deep into the ball game. Strikes out Godley, works a 1-2-3 second, but the D-backs in San Diego lead the Padres 2-0. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Nick Markakis, an all-star for the first time in his career this year, gives the Braves the early lead over the Rockies. Mike Foltynewicz working on 7 scoreless innings. He's only given up 4 hits. He's got 9 strikeouts. The Atlanta starting pitcher. The Braves have a 2-0 lead. The Rockies are losing in Atlanta. The Dodgers play later tonight in Seattle.
A spirited race in that National League batting race. Freddie Freeman starting today was hitting .320. Nick Markakis at .319. Teammates battling for the National League lead. Markakis all over the leaderboard. Multi-hit games. He's number 1. RBIs. He's got 80 now. Leads the National League in doubles. Leads the National League in hits. He's having a heck of a year.
Corey Spangenberg, the Padres second baseman, leads off the bottom of the second against Zach Godley. Spangenberg has singled and walked in this series, hitting .251 with 7 homers. Andy Green met with Corey Spangenberg at the beginning of this month and told him, look, you're going to get more regular reps at second base. And Spangenberg has responded. He's batting almost .390 in August. He homered here Wednesday against the Angels. Takes a big cut at that curveball, and Godley has struck out 3 of the first 5 he's faced.
Working very quickly, feeling it so far today. Little sinking fastball down low and away. That was a straight changeup that was pulled foul, and then he chases a breaking ball down below the bottom of the strike zone. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Celebrating a birthday today. He's 26 years old. The catcher Austin Hedges. 243 and 9 homers. Hedges 0 for 7 in the series. He has walked and struck out 3 times. He's now gone without a hit in 4 straight games. D-backs have 3 infielders on the left side against him. Goldie all by himself, midway between first and second. Foul back, and it's 0-2. Here's something I found a little bit surprising. Zach Godley has never won in this ballpark. He is 0-3 career at Petco Park. The ERA is 5.29 here. 4 appearances, 3 starts. He's got it going so far. Already 4 strikeouts, 2 down in the second.
Well, the good news about those 4 strikeouts, he has not been curveball dependent. He's thrown some really good curveballs, and he's gotten some swing and miss on the curveball, but the fastball's played really well in the early going, too.
Shortstop Freddie Galvis. 235 and 10 homers, hitless in the series. Godley has won both his starts against the Padres this year. April 21st at Chase Field. 2 runs, 5 1/3. Another win over San Diego and Phoenix July 6th. 1 run in 6 innings. Just beyond the reach of Nick Ahmed and into left center. The first hit for the Padres, a 2-out single. Center fielder Manuel Margot. 245 and 6 homers. A homer last night, his only hit in the series. A 1-out home run in the 8th inning off Matt Andriese.
Yeah, it looked very similar to the Eric Hosmer home run. Chased John Jay all the way to the wall, tried to make a leaping catch, but unfortunately Margot's was a little bit deeper.
And there was some fan interaction on that as well. There was no beer involved, fortunately. I like how the guy that interfered with Jay, he just went back and bought another beer.
Got another beer.
Went right back to his seat. Didn't even blink.
Be sure Eric Hosmer bought it for him.
Should have. Right to Nick. Little toss to Ketel Marte. Godley through 2 with a 2-0 lead.
Brought to you by Geico. Good on Greg Maddux on this day in 1998. Got career win number 200 by beating the Giants 8-4. The interesting thing, Atlanta had 9 hits, all of them doubles in that ball game.
That's weird.
That is weird. Greg Maddux winning a ball game, not weird at all.
Well, the D-backs had back-to-back doubles in the first. Escobar and Pollock, a Goldie single. And that's how they got their 2 runs against Clayton Richard, who since then has retired 5 in a row. John Jay leads off the 3rd. It's been a struggle for Clayton Richard. 0-4 in his last 9 starts. He's not won a game since June 22nd. He has given up more earned runs this year than any pitcher in the National League.
You know, partner, we've seen a lot of pitchers that tap the ball in their glove before they deliver. Clayton Richard does something really unusual. He taps the ball on his upper left thigh. Watch him when he breaks from the glove. He'll tap the ball down right there on the upper part of his left thigh.
Wow, that one got through Galvis. You won't see that very often. John Jay on base to start the third. Freddie Galvis is one of the best defenders out there.
Just hit off the glove, skips on into center field. Galvis frustrated with himself.
They put a base hit on the board for John Jay.
That's a good veteran move by Freddie Galvis. If you leave your feet, chances are the official scorer is not going to call it an error.
Well, John has now hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. Escobar doubled and scored in the first.
Ramos Ramirez was a master at that.
What are you saying?
Every hard ground ball hit down to third base, even if it was right at him, he'd fall down on the ground, leave his feet. E5. No, wait, change that. That's a base hit. He had to leave his feet.
Yeah, well, he's a gritty gamer. Got to get dirty. Keep that fielding percentage nice and clean. This is where Richard will look for one of his patented ground balls. Trying to turn 2. But Escobar sends it out to right center. He's 2 for 2. AJ had an RBI double and scored in the first.
Right down into the left field corner. Took advantage of a breaking ball that stayed over the heart of the plate. Gets Escobar on the dish with that double down into the corner.
He's always hit Clayton Richard pretty well. D-backs up 2-0. 2 on, nobody out in the third. D-backs have seen Clayton Richard twice already this year, back on April 21st at Chase Field. He lost that game, gave up 3 runs, 5 hits in 5. Had the same pitching line July 8th in Phoenix. That time he had a no decision. He is leading the league. 83 earned runs allowed this year in 150 innings. The White Sox, Lucas Giolito, the only pitcher in baseball who's given up more earned runs than Clayton Richard. That's kind of the way it's gone for Richard now that he's back in San Diego. Last year, no pitcher in the league lost more games or gave up more base hits. So it's not all been about a lack of run support pitching for the Padres. There's a ground ball to Galvis. That's how Richard earns his money. And they turn 2 with Jay at third.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Goldie already 1 for 1, which on the road trip makes him right now 14 for 30. That's pretty good. A base hit to deliver A.J. Pollock from second with a game's second run. He's now hit safely in 11 straight.
That double play induced by Clayton Richard, the 21st of the season. That ties him with Jake Arrieta for the lead in the National League. As you said, that's how he makes his living. Sinker, slider, everything moving down. Tries to get the hitter to hit the top half of the baseball.
Goldie just keeps on going. An RBI single makes it 3-0 as Jay scores from third. Make it 15 for 31 on this road trip. Souza flying out his first time. This is lifted to short right. Jankowski coming in. Diamondbacks tack on a run. They lead in San Diego 3-0. D-backs fans, if you can't watch the games on your television, stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. Brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app, take Fox Sports Arizona, and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Make it a 3-0 lead now for Zach Godley, who's already got 4 strikeouts. Clayton Richard leads off the San Diego third. Richard with a fairly passive approach up there at the plate.
You think?
Just kind of eyeballing a couple to start us off.
I'll tell you, one of the more disappointing at-bats in the ball game last night was when Andy Green was forced to use a pincher to pinch hit in the 4th inning. Robbie Erlin went to the plate to pinch hit for Joey Lucchesi, and Robbie Ray walked him.
It's not what you want.
No.
Well, Godley has struck out 5 of the first 9 Padres. 1 down in the third.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Well, if this inning continues the way the first 2 have, Jankowski will strike out. Myers will reach, and Hosmer will hit a ground ball out to shortstop. Jankowski struck out looking to start off the game. In the first and the second innings, the first 2 Padre hitters struck out against Godley. The third guy up in the inning reached safely either a walk or a single. And then the next hitter hit a ground ball to shortstop for the force out at second to end the inning. Got that hard cutter down and in on the lefty. 2 balls and a strike. There's a little tapper to first for Goldie. We talk about all the strikeouts lately with Zach Godley and that curveball, but Zach, really at his core, is a pitch to contact guy. He's a very good ground ball pitcher as well, not just Clayton Richard. In fact, Godley is 8th in the major leagues in terms of ground ball percentage. And he'll tell you, hey, the strikeouts are great, but he likes to use his defense behind him. So far, 40 pitches, 27 strikes. Here's Will Myers, who struck out in the first. Ground ball right to Nick Ahmed. 2 ground ball outs in the inning for Zach Godley, who heads to the 4th with a 3-0 lead. Nick Ahmed leads off the 4th at Petco Park. Fans next up at Chase Field. D-backs at Angels, a 2-game set Tuesday and Wednesday. Then a 3-game visit from Seattle coming up next weekend. Get your tickets now. Support your D-backs in the remaining home games this month. D-backs.com. Ahmed lines one right at Renfroe in left field to start it off.
After a rough night for Nick last night, punched out 3 times, struck out 4 times the night before. Looks like he doesn't want to get to a 2 strikeout. He's seen 2 pitches in the ball game. Fielder's choice ground out back in the first, and then a line drive to left field right there.
Ketel Marte grounded out his first time up. There's that first pitch strike from Richard. D-back so far, 3 runs on 6 hits. Over the mound, here comes Galvis. Nice play, nice scoop at first by Hosmer.
Covering a lot of ground that time. Looked like he had a little trouble getting a handle on the baseball. May have caused him to throw that ball in the dirt, but gets some help from his first baseman, Eric Hosmer, picking it out of the dirt for the 2nd out.
Yeah, Hosmer won 4 Gold Gloves in the American League with Kansas City, including last year. 2 down for John Ryan Murphy. John Ryan hitless in his last 6 starts. He is 0 for 30 since his last base hit, which was way back on July 6th. He's not played a whole lot. The at-bats have kind of dried up. Foul ground near the Padre dugout. Hedges drops it.
A new life for John Ryan Murphy. Not an easy play, but that ball's got to be caught right there. Austin Hedges right there, just clanks it off the catcher's mitt. Hosmer gave him some room to make the play, and Hedges unable to come up with it.
You score that, no play. 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Hedges will finish off the strikeout. Second for Richard. Bottom 4 coming up. It's 3-0 D-backs.
Involved, not as a player, but more so, I think, as a person.
When I came out of high school early, everything was about me, and I wanted everybody to know me. I wanted to be the center of attention. I wanted to be the spotlight. I wanted to get to the big leagues. I wanted to drive a fancy car. I wanted to do all those things that you hear about on MTV, but it's just not reality.
Cup of coffee with Steven Souza Jr. debuts after our ball game tomorrow here on Fox Sports Arizona. Our thanks again to Steven for helping us out with that. Josh Kellman and his staff have done a wonderful job putting that show together, which airs for the first time tomorrow afternoon. Eric Hosmer leads off the Padre fourth against Zach Godley, who so far has 5 strikeouts and has given up just 1 hit. Hosmer walked his first time up. Zach Godley looking for win number 14 on the season. He is 13-6. Hosmer cannot check. 1-2. Curveball. No, it didn't go, says James Hoy. 2-2. Yanked that cutter in there a little too much, and now it's a full count 3-2 with Renfroe on deck. Tried to get him to chase that curveball. Second time he's walked Hosmer in the ball game. Renfroe hit into a fielder's choice ground ball to win the first. Got to be careful with Renfroe. He's had a productive August at the plate. He's homered 5 times this month. Eric Hosmer will run now and again. He's got 6 stolen bases. He's been caught 4 times. And we know Zach usually controls opposing base runners by holding the ball and stepping off the rubber rather than throwing over to the bases.
Now that's something that became an issue briefly several starts ago.
The Rockies tried to take a bit of advantage there, a couple of awkward moments, but Zach came away from that relatively unscathed, and it really hasn't been a problem since. 50 pitches, 32 strikes. Renfroe got his fastball and missed it 1-2.
I'm sure it has a lot to do with the analytics in the game nowadays, but you just don't see that much anymore. You have a pitcher on the mound that you know can't throw to the bases. Matt Garza.
John Lester.
CC Sabathia. Nobody bunts on him.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get that.
That's a fair ball. Escobar tried to make a backhand play. And Renfroe's aboard. That was hard hit down to third. Nice play by Escobar just to stop that ball. And the first 2 have reached the Padre fourth.
Yeah, a lot of times you talk about a do-or-die play on a slow roller to the third base side, but that play Escobar had one shot. Get it out of the glove quickly. He would look like he was going to go to second base that time and try to get the force, but just couldn't find the handle quickly enough. Going to be a tough play either way.
Second hit for San Diego. 2 on, no outs for Spangenberg, who struck out his first time up. Escobar can't wander too far away from the bag. Spangenberg can't bunt. He runs very well. Let's see how tricky they want to get here. Ahmed, the shortstop, right behind the bag at second. Sneak it in behind Hosmer. Goldie in front of Renfroe at first. Here he comes. Spangenberg pulls back. Murphy throws it into center field. Hosmer had wandered a little bit off that bag at second. John Ryan thought he had an opening there. And the runners move up.
Yeah, unfortunately, just pulled that throw to the shortstop side of the bag. You could see Nick was kind of blocked by Eric Hosmer as he was going back into the base at second that time. No chance to make a play on that throw.
Well, that's a big one right there. Now a single can score 2. It's 2-0 on Spangenberg. Infield will back off now. That is the 6th error at catcher this year for John Ryan Murphy.
Wow. We've talked about Zach spinning off to that first base side of the mound. He's done a real good job of catching himself. When he does it, like on that last pitch, he spun off just a little bit. You could see him climb right back up on that mound. He knows mechanically he wasn't in a good place on that last pitch, but lately he's been able to correct it, get right back in the strike zone.
3-0 on Corey Spangenberg. Austin Hedges, the catcher, struck out his first time. He's on deck. Second and third, nobody out. And now the bases are loaded. Third walk in the ball game. Second in the inning issued by Godley. Bases full of Padres for Hedges. Mike Butcher.
It looks like Butch, when he leaves the dugout, he walks part way to the mound, kind of gathering his thoughts, determining what he wants to say when he gets out there to the mound, and then he jogs on out there. that little preparation, walking up to the foul line, thinking about what he was going to approach Zach Godley about, and then jogs on out there knowing that the clock is running.
Did you have to prepare a speech, or did you just you didn't go out there unless you were going to get the guy, right?
Well, I went out there a few times to offer advice or talk about how we wanted to play something defensively, but usually just let it flow. Whatever comes out, comes out. And many times I was told to get back in the dugout.
Well, they better come up with something. Bases loaded, nobody out for Hedges. Hosmer's at third, Renfro's at second, Spangenberg with good speed at first.
Now, normally I would suggest in this situation you start looking around at your middle infielders, your first baseman. Maybe there's a pickoff to be had somewhere on the diamond, but we know Zach Godley doesn't like to throw to bases, and John Ryan Murphy's already made a throwing error in the game, so probably not going to happen here.
Curveball misses. Hedges is 0 for 8 in the series with 4 strikeouts.
0 for 3 this year with the bases loaded. In his career, 1 for 10 for Austin Hedges with the bags loaded.
Trying to work that cut fastball, which tails away from the right-hand batter. 1-1. Hedges can take you deep every now and again. 9 homers this year, 5 since the All-Star break. Good spot for that one. 1-2.
With that two-seam fastball that goes the other direction, cuts back into a right-handed hitter, really plays well with that cutter. You throw the cutter on the outside corner, it breaks off the plate away. You throw the sinker just off the plate away, and it comes back to the corner.
Went to the curveball and got an enormous strikeout. Now a ground ball can end the threat for Godley. 1 out for Galvis. 6 strikeouts for Zach.
Zach had no intention of throwing this curveball in the strike zone. It hits out in front of the plate just off the outside corner. And quite sure what Hedges saw right there, but a good thing for the Diamondbacks.
Galvis singled into left center his first time up. His only hit in the series. Ground ball. That one sneaks through into center. Hosmer's home. Renfro right behind. Spangenberg in at third. And it's a 3-2 D-backs lead. Well, he got the ground ball he was looking for, just in the wrong spot.
Well, that falling off to the first base side of the mound, not only does it affect his pitches, but it affects his defensive positioning. That ball kind of glanced off his lower back and on into center field. Just not in a great fielding position.
Galvis 2 for 2. Here's the center fielder, Manuel Margot. Falling off the mound has been a little bit more pronounced tonight than we've seen it lately. Long set by Zach, and he steps off. Fly ball to center. Here comes AJ. Spangenberg at third, coming in. The throw kicks off the mound. Murphy's got it. And we're tied at 3.
I thought AJ might have a chance to throw the runner out at home plate right there as momentum was coming in. The throw just kind of tailed, hit the side of the mound, and ricocheted over there to John Ryan Murphy. Fortunately, Freddie Galvestage put it first, but the Padres tie it up on that sac fly.
Well, San Diego has got 3 runs in the inning. They've only had 2 hits, both singles. 2 bases on balls and a throwing error haven't helped. Here's the pitcher, Richard. Godley tumbles off the side again. It's 1-0. Goldie at first. It's a 3-run San Diego 4th. Padres tie it up. Jackson Padres tied at 3. Fans MLB.TV now available at a lower price, $49.99. You can watch every out of market regular season game and get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Now you've got your basic blackouts and your other restrictions. They do apply. So visit MLB.TV. Take advantage of this special offer. Zach Godley leads off the Diamondback 5th inning in what is now a 3-3 ball game. They've gone to the 9th inning in Atlanta. The Braves still lead the Rockies 3-0. Dodgers and Mariners getting set to start at Safeco Field in Seattle. Galvis at shortstop. And a ground ball out for Clayton Richard.
Hey, I want to say hello, Cottonwood. Big Diamondbacks fan Scott sitting in a diner right now having some dinner watching the D-backs game.
Hello, Cottonwood.
Yeah.
John Jay singled and scored in the 3rd. We also want to give a big shout out to a tremendous D-back fan in Peoria, BB, Kyle Vogelsang. Kyle sent us a letter the other day. Picked it up when I stopped by our mailbox. He said, Steve and Bob, want to take a moment and share with you. Thank you. Every broadcast, every game he watches all the time. Kyle's had some health issues lately, so he's been laid up a bit, watching a lot of D-backs baseball on TV. So thanks again. Job well done. Kyle Vogelsang from Peoria. Kyle, thanks for supporting the D-backs. Get well soon.
Absolutely, Kyle. Can't wait to see you back out at the ballpark.
He may head out to a Padres spring training game or two out there in Peoria.
Yeah.
Just out of the reach of Richard. Galvis can't get there either. And John Jay, another base hit. He's 2 for 3. Well, John Jay has now hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. And he's had 2 hits. Let's see, 2 hits in 5 of those last 7 games. So the hits are just coming in bunches for John Jay. Here's Escobar, who has doubled, singled, and scored a run.
With Eduardo Escobar's first inning double, he has 43 on the year, leading the major leagues. Francisco Lindor with 39 in second place in the majors. 43 doubles with what, 6 weeks to go in the season.
Not bad.
Huh?
And there's a base hit. Another one gets by Galvis. He knocked it down. It trickles into shallow center. And because Galvis slowed that one down, Jay's able to sneak in at third.
Galvis again almost looked like the John Jay base hit. A few steps to his left in a diving attempt. He just got a piece of it, as you said, slowed it down enough that Margot couldn't get there in time, and John Jay moves all the way around to third base.
Eduardo Escobar 3 for 3. Here's AJ, who had an RBI double in the first. D-backs now with 8 hits against Clayton Richard. First and third, 1 out.
Skip, do you see that? I think that's what they were saying. That's what it looked like.
Fastball's a strike, and Richards ahead 0-2. Goldie with a pair of RBI singles on deck.
We just sent our regards to Scott in Cottonwood, and he shot me a text and said Nick Ahmed makes both those plays up the middle.
Nick Ahmed, the best defensive shortstop in the game, according to the metrics. He's right.
I would tend to agree with Scott.
He's a sharp D-back fan. Watches a lot of games.
That way.
Well, at absolute worst here, down 0-2 in the count, you'd at least like to stay away from another Clayton Richard ground ball double play if you could. Give Goldie a chance to get up there. That fastball misses in. AJ hit into a 6-4-3 his last time up.
Told the story in the past. Former teammate of mine, Reggie Smith, was somehow hitting behind me in the lineup. It must have been a double switch or something.
Protection.
And, runners at first and third, 1 out. The pitching coach for the opposing team went out to talk to his pitcher, and Reggie called me back to the on-deck circle.
AJ to center. Margot coming in. Here comes John Jay. Here's the throw. It's cut off. The relay is late. And the D-backs regain the lead 4-3. The RBI for Pollock is second tonight. Well, what did he have to say?
Well, he called me back there, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm a relatively young player at the major league level, and you know, Reggie Smith, this veteran, he's going to give me some words of advice. So I walk back to the on-deck circle. He says, hey, kid, if you feel like you're going to hit into a double play, strike out.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah, seemed like good advice at the time.
Inspiring, too. I'm sure you went up there full of yourself.
Well, how do I know if I feel I'm going to hit into a double play, Reggie?
Well, Goldie's been red hot tonight. Red hot this whole road trip. An RBI single in the first, another one in the third. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. That one in the first, into left center, then in the third, right center field. Down the line and by Myers. Goldie 3 for 3. And Escobar's on the run. Renfroe's got it in the corner. Here he comes. There's no throw, and it's 5-3. Third RBI hit tonight for Goldie. He's unbelievable.
Just so locked in right now. Another breaking ball that stayed in the strike zone, ripped right down that third baseline. Great base running by Escobar. He was off like a shot at first base, turned the corner hard at second, turned the corner hard at third, and scores without a play. Nicely done.
This is the 8th game on this road trip. Goldie on the trip is hitting .500, 16 for 32.
He's getting near that territory where teams are just going to start walking him. Refusing to pitch to him
Yeah,
again.
it's just getting out of hand.
In a good way.
It's been fun to watch. Yeah, it's just remarkable. He's now hit safely in 11 straight games, and 7 of those have been multi-hit games. Souza's twice flied out to right. There's a strike, 1-1. Rockies have come back in the 9th inning in Atlanta to tie the Braves 3-3. The Atlanta bullpen just melted down.
Braves had a 3-run lead with 2 outs and nobody on base. Rockies came back to tie it.
Tell you what, those last 3 outs, anybody that doesn't think they're different is not paying attention. That closer is the only guy that goes out there without a net. Souza with a chance to tack on a run. Spangenberg just kind of hovering around that bag at second. Now he backs off. Hedges calls time. Spangenberg's back there playing peekaboo.
Yeah, he starts relatively close to the bag and kind of decoys like he's going to break towards second and then backs up into a defensive position.
That one gets to the backstop and Goldie is in at third. Wild pitch.
Appeared to be a breaking ball in the dirt that time to Hedges. Pretty good blocking position. The ball just hit the heel of his glove, shot up over that right shoulder, allowed Goldie to move up to third base. Do it again.
Two and two. Not caught looking at that fastball. Richard sneaks it in there, but the Diamondbacks tack on 2 more. They have the lead back. It's 5-3. consecutive plate appearances over the last 2 games. He's got 5 hits and 3 bases on balls. Now is the time, fans. Lock in your 2019 D-backs season ticket package. You'll get guaranteed seats to all the big matchups next year and postseason priority. dbacks.com/tickets. 2019 season seats on sale right now. You can also give us a call at 602-462-4600. Travis Jankowski 0 for 2 leads off the 5th against Zach Godley, now with a 5-3 lead. Jankowski slices one out to left, and it drops in front of Jay for a leadoff single. Now this is going to be an interesting test because Jankowski can really run. And he's much more selective, much more choosy, not getting thrown out attempting to steal nearly as much as he did last year. He's worked a lot with first base coach Skip Schumacher on that. Will Myers, the hitter, he's 0 for 2.
Boy, after aggressively attacking that strike zone in the first couple of innings, Zach Godley has fallen behind. Since that 2nd inning, he's only thrown 2 out of 13 first pitch strikes.
He was rolling there through 3. He had 5 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed, but it was a bumpy ride, a 3-run Padre 4th. Here's a little tapper. Escobar's got a charge, and no time to get Myers, who runs well. Swing and bunt. And the Padres answer back right away. 2 on, nobody out for the heart of the order.
Eric Hosmer's, who'd already walked twice in this ball game. I got to believe he's going to be a little more aggressive here with the runner in scoring position.
Well, Godley got himself into a bases loaded, no out jam in the 4th. In trouble right away to start the 5th. Ahmed right behind Jankowski at 2nd. Now he backs off. There's that cutter in there for a strike. Hosmer has homered here twice this week. Had the beer-aided home run last night. He homered Monday against the Angels. The home run Monday was his first since July 14th. He hadn't homered in a month. Oh and 2. Drives it out to left field. John Jay backing up, and it's over his head off the wall. Jankowski will score. They stop Myers at 3rd, and it's 5-4. 3 straight hits start the San Diego 5th.
Could have been a changeup up and out. I think it was a 2-seamer up and out over the plate. Hosmer stays right on it, drives it to the opposite field. With the speed that the Padres had on the bases, the Diamondbacks are fortunate only 1 run scored on that double.
Now it's 2nd and 3rd, still no outs. Hunter Renfroe singled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Makes a big hack at a curveball. That's one thing they've really tried to pound into Hunter Renfroe. You just got to improve your plate discipline. Can't be chasing everything up there. That was a real issue for him last year. It actually got him sent down to the minor leagues for a while. Chases another one, 0 and 2.
Where some guys become completely different hitters if you put a couple runners out there in scoring position. I mean, Hunter Renfroe, they envision him as a middle of the lineup run producer, and they want him to drive in runs in situations like this, but you still have to swing at good pitches.
That has been his biggest hurdle in the big league, no doubt about it. All right, down to swing at 3, just did get a piece of that to stay alive. He's a slugger, Hunter Renfroe. He's got 64 hits this year. 33 of them have been for extra bases. 2 on, no outs, a run is in. That gets into that habit when he's trying to spot that cutter down and away to the right-hand batter of just yanking it into the left-hand batter's box sometimes. When he can place it where he wants, it's a tremendously effective pitch for him against these righties, but a lot of times he'll just kind of overthrow it and miss badly. Back to that curveball. Try and get Renfroe to bite, and he does. 7 strikeouts for Godley.
Hunter Renfroe, a career hitter with runners in scoring position. 199. Chases a bad breaking ball there. Chases another bad breaking ball. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep pounding away at that outside corner with curveballs. Renfroe just cannot lay off.
Well, Mike Butcher out there to make another mound visit. Corey Spangenberg has struck out and walked. He'll be the hitter. Myers at third, Hosmer at second, and 1 out.
I mean, one option is to go ahead and put Spangenberg on, setting up a potential inning-ending double play. This may be more a conversation of pitching around Spangenberg and how are we going to do that?
Well, you've got Austin Hedges behind him. Hedges has already struck out twice against Godley tonight. So we'll see how they want to play it with first base open. Cutter right there at the knees for strike 1.
Trying to read Spangenberg's lips there. Looks like he asked Eric Cooper at the bottom, which means that has to be the lowest fastball you're going to call down there at the bottom of the strike zone.
I think that approach is kind of what got Nick Ahmed in a little bit of trouble last night. That's as far in as it's going to go, right? All right, just checking. 0-2. Crew chief Eric Cooper back there today. Strikeout here would really help. Another curveball.
It goes without saying that's a good plan of attack for Zach Godley against just about everybody. Throw that hard curveball in there in a 2-strike count. But Corey Spangenberg's a guy that you can get out of way. All of his power and most of his hits come to his pull field. Really struggles with pitches out away from him.
80 pitches for Godley, 53 strikes. 0-2 on Corey Spangenberg.
Curveball. John Ryan Murphy, you saw him give the target way up high and then drop back down into his crouch just in case Eric Hosmer out there at second base was relaying anything to the hitter. That's Murphy raise up like he's going to call for a high fastball and then drops back down to receive the curve. Sneaky.
Tried to get him to bite at the curve. He lays off, and it's even 2-2. Zach Godley cruised through 3 innings. Had a very rocky 4th when the Padres put up 3 to tie it. In trouble again in the 5th. It's full. The catcher Hedges on deck. Godley tonight has walked 3. He struck out 7. Punches it into left. Myers is home, and we're tied. Fourth hit in the inning for San Diego.
Well, if indeed they were trying to pitch around Spangenberg, that's too good of a curveball on a 3-2 pitch. You need to bounce it in the dirt. You don't really care if you're walking right there.
The D-backs had a 3-0 lead. Padres tied it in the 4th. They had a 5-3 lead, and the Padres have tied it again in the 5th. Still just 1 out. Here's Hedges, who was struck out twice. Jammed him inside with a fastball. 0-1. Hedges 0 for 9 in the series. He's punched out 5 times. Hitless in his last 4 games. Padres catcher Eric Cooper giving him a moment to walk that one off. Goes bunt. He didn't offer, says Quinn Walcott. It's a ball and a strike. Pitch counts getting up there. Godley spot due up 4th in the top half of the 6th. He has really worked hard in these last 2 innings.
Well, certainly not what we expected after the first 2 innings in this game when he was totally on top of it.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to dominate again. Nice backhand pick there by Murphy. No one warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. It's still quiet out there. That's a base hit. Padres take the lead. 5 hits in the 5th for San Diego. They lead it 6-5.
Fastball drilled through that 5.5 hole that the late Tony Gwynn used to take advantage of from the left side of the plate. Hedges with an RBI single into left field.
Padres with 3 in the 4th and now 3 in the 5th. Still only 1 out in the inning. Here's Galvis, who has singled twice and knocked in 2 runs. TJ McFarland starts to get loose. There's more bad news in Atlanta. The Rockies, who were down 3-0 in the 9th inning against the Braves, tied it 3-3. They went to the 10th. DJ LeMahieu was just homered for Colorado. And the Rockies have a 4-3 lead at SunTrust Park.
An RBI base hit from Cody Bellinger gives the Dodgers an early 1-0 lead over the Mariners in the first inning.
Everything's trending in the wrong direction here.
The Giants did get beat behind Madison Bumgarner again, 7-1 by the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, Matt Harvey pitched a good ball game. Had a no-hitter going there for a while. Good change up from Godley. We've seen a couple of those here tonight. 1 and 2 on Galvis. Five of the last 6 Padre batters have base hits in this inning. 1 and 2. San Diego 6 runs on 8 hits. D-backs 5 runs, 9 hits. Each team has left 3. That one, Murphy can't find it. Godley tried another changeup, bounced it. And everybody moves up.
John Ryan Murphy trying to backhand a lot of balls in the dirt tonight rather than shift his body, get the glove down in the 5-hole and try to keep it in front. He's been very fortunate on a few of those pitches in the dirt to be able to pick them cleanly like a first baseman, but that changeup got away and allowed 2 runners to move into scoring position.
Spangenberg's at third, Hedges the catcher at second. 2 and 2 on Galvis. Infield in for the Diamondbacks.
Better that time. And that curveball, you're pretty sure there's a good chance it's going to end up in the dirt. So as a catcher, you're always ready to block a curveball in the dirt. The fastball is the one that catches you by surprise.
Zach Godley 0-3 career in Petco Park, and this one has gone south on him quickly. Full count on Galvis, 3 and 2. Just missed away with a curveball, and they're loaded again. Still only 1 out in the inning. And the Padres send their 8th man to bat in the 5th. It's Manuel Margot. McFarland continues to warm up in the bullpen. Tony Perez-Chica will position the infield. 4 walks in the ball game for Godley.
All that means something to the Diamondbacks infielders. The chopping action on the left arm, pointing at his eyes, giving the indication of a high bouncer to third base. You're going to go home. A hard hit ball to third base or shortstop. You're going to turn 2 up the middle.
Go fouls that one away. Three runs already in. Bases full, 1 out. Pitcher spot is up next. Franmil Reyes in the on deck circle. Set to hit for Clayton Richard. The wheels have come off for Godley in the 5th.
Manny Margot 1 for 7 this year with the bases loaded. In his career, 5 for 12.
He homered here last night. Even with the home run last night, Margot is still in a deep slump. He is 2 for his last 26 up there. Up, foul ground, first base side, and Goldie's got it. And Reyes is coming up with Godley at 99 pitches. The 9th man to bat in the Padre 5th. Big Franmil Reyes. 227 and 9 homers. He is 0 for 5 in the series. And 0 for 22 in his last 8 games. But he's got tremendous power if he connects. That one hit Godley. Marte is right there to scoop it up, and they get the force on Galvis. But the Padres answer with 3. They take a 6-5 lead. Nothing in 5-3. Fans, complete your bobblehead collection coming up Saturday, September 8th. The Ketel Marte Luchador bobblehead. It's courtesy of Pepsi. D-backs and the Braves. That's a 5-10 start. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. It's a bullpen game for the Padres after Reyes hit for Richard. Here is the right-hander Phil Maton. We saw him in the series opener Thursday. Maton faced 6 batters in that ball game, struck out 4 of them.
Yeah, 40 punch outs on the season and just over 35 innings of work for Phil Maton.
So the D-backs now trail at 6-5 as Nick Ahmed leads off the 6th.
You know, we talked about it last night, partner. The Padres are having a tough season, no doubt about it, but one of their bright points has been their bullpen. Diamondbacks bullpen, Padres bullpen rank among the league leaders in just about every category.
D-backs had a 3-0 lead after the top of the 3rd. Padres tied it in the bottom of the 4th, 3-3. D-backs got 2 in the 5th. They were up 5-3. Now they trail at 6-5. Breaking ball for Maton. 1-1 on Nick. Nick this year already with career highs in homers, doubles, and RBIs. Another good, sharp breaking ball from Maton. So Clayton Richard tonight goes 5 innings, gives up 5 earned runs on 9 hits. No walks and 3 strikeouts. Maton on to start the 6th. Pitcher spot. Zach Godley due up 4th in this inning for the Diamondbacks. That one gets behind Maton. Ahmed busting it up the line. He's going to reach safely. As it just kind of died there for Galvis in front of second.
Very well placed little squib shot right there. Once it got by Maton, it was going to be a tough play for either middle infielder. And with Nick busting it down the line, Galvis just decides not even to risk a throw.
Here's Ketel Marte, who has grounded out twice against Richard 0 for 2. Now he'll flip around and bat from the left-hand side. There's another slowly hit ball. Only one play for Spangenberg, and they move Ahmed along. John Ryan Murphy, the start behind the plate tonight, 0 for 2. John Ryan this year has been a .230 hitter when he's been in the starting lineup. All 9 of his homers have come as a starter. There's a look at the San Diego defense. Ahmed at second, 1 out. Pitcher spot is up next. David Peralta, who missed last night's game with an illness, is out in the on-deck circle, ready to hit for Godley. Torrey told us before the game today that David would be available to pinch hit off the bench. Had a stomach bug and spent the game last night in his hotel room. Fastball up. Murphy swings through, and it's 0-2. There's David Peralta. Zach Godley had the early lead, but a 3-run 4th followed by a 3-run 5th. Murphy pops it up, hedges over there to have a look near the San Diego dugout. He dropped one over there earlier, and he's got that one. There's no one at second. Ahmed's halfway to third. Everybody ran over to cover the third base bag, and they left Ahmed unattended at second. 2 outs, and Peralta will hit for Godley.
Well, nothing came of it, but you know how much I like alert players, and Nick realized there's nobody covering second base here. I can get as far off the bag as I want and maybe draw an errant throw from Hedges after he makes the play in foul territory. And once some of the Padre defenders started to converge on second base, then he went back to the bag. Smart play. As I said, nothing came of it, but you like to see guys thinking on their feet out there on the field.
The numbers on Peralta, who has been sizzling hot. So Zach Godley's night ends right here. 5 innings, 6 runs on 8 hits given up. Godley walked 4 and struck out 7. Peralta homered here Thursday night, his 22nd of the year. His 3rd home run on this road trip. So if he homers here, is that kind of like a Michael Jordan with the flu kind of a deal? I know it's not the postseason, but at this point we'll take it on August 18th.
Oh, you bet we will.
Coming off the stomach bug that kept him in his room last night. Colorado has come back to win in Atlanta. The Rockies beat the Braves. Atlanta had a 3-0 lead in the 9th inning of that game and lost it in extras. 5-3 Rockies win it. They got 3 in the 9th and 2 in the 10th. Ouch. Popped it up. Hedges one more time in foul ground. Well, Ahmed, the leadoff single. Nothing comes of it. Godley's night is over. D-backs trail at 6-5. At 6-5 as we're set for the home half of the 6th inning. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. The series and road trip finale tomorrow afternoon. Zach Greinke on the mound for the Diamondbacks against rookie Brett Kennedy. D-backs live pregame show at 12:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. New pitcher on in relief of Zach Godley, the left-hander TJ McFarland. And Travis Jankowski will lead it off for the Padres. TJ's 41st appearance of the year. He's been terrific as always, a 1.93 ERA. Jankowski, I'm sorry, Bob singled and scored his last time up.
I was just going to state the obvious. TJ McFarland's job right now is to put zeros on the board, give his offense a chance to get back into this game.
D-backs have out hit San Diego 10-8, but they trail at 6-5. Jankowski does not see a lot of left-hand pitching. They usually protect him from lefties. Only 60 plate appearances versus left-handers all year. And he's hitting .204 against the lefties, 1-1. Jankowski and Spangenberg's another guy. They usually are not in the game when there's a left-hander out there. 1-2 now.
It's always kind of odd to realize that Travis Jankowski is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He looks like he just came off the beach.
Played his college baseball on Long Island at Stony Brook, team that went to the College World Series when he was a senior. He was a first-round pick out of Stony Brook. I do have a little bit of good news here.
Okay.
Told you that the Rockies came back in Atlanta and won to beat the Braves after the Braves blew a 3-0 lead in the 9th inning. Well, the Dodgers had the early lead at Seattle, 1-0, but the Mariners answered with 4 in the bottom of the first. Kyle Seager of Seattle hit a 3-run homer, so it's 4-1 Mariners. They're in the second at Safeco Field. They lead the Dodgers.
And to the best of our knowledge, no blister yet for Rich Hill, but it's early.
That's right. There's still time. And Jankowski waves it, one down and away. A fastball from TJ.
Spicoli goes down on strikes. Just a little tardy on that slider outside part of the plate.
I know that dude. Here's Will Myers. Singled and scored in the 3-run fifth, 1 for 3. Padres getting another look tonight at Will Myers as their third baseman to see if that might be an option for them next year. He's not looked bad down there at third, I have to say. You can tell it's still a new spot for him, but he's done all right. Very athletic guy. Right back to the mound. Two down for Hosmer, who has walked twice. He's got an RBI double. He scored 2 runs.
What a difference between TJ McFarland and Zach Godley fielding their position out there. Zach Godley looked like Charlie Brown on the mound a couple times tonight. Socks and hat and everything flying. TJ McFarland, a dead ground ball pitcher. He's always in good fielding position because he knows he might get some right back to it.
Hosmer, a 208 hitter versus lefties this year. Here's a tapper to second. Ketel Marte has it. And TJ McFarland makes short work of San Diego in the 6th. D-backs trail at 6-5. Trevor Hoffman, that statue unveiled tonight here at Petco Park. Fans, secure your seats now. Big games coming up next month. D-backs will host the Cubs, the Rockies, and the Dodgers, all in September. Every game is going to be critical. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Dodgers are trailing at Seattle. The Rockies came back and won in Atlanta. John Jay has singled twice, scored twice, 2 for 3, leads off the 7th against right-hander Phil Maton on for his second inning of relief. Jay has had it going lately. He's hit safely now in 6 of his last 7 games. 5 of those have been 2-hit games. Boy, it's been the top of the order so far tonight for Torey Lovullo. First 4 batters, Jay, Escobar, Pollock, and Goldschmidt. Jay has singled twice, scored twice. Escobar's 3 for 3. He scored twice. Pollock has driven in 2 runs and doubled. Goldie 3 for 3 with 3 RBI hits. The rest of the batters have only 1 base hit. That's an Ahmed single. Jay grounds out to start the 7th.
Yeah, from Steven Souza, the 5-hitter on down, 1 for 12. I'm not counting the pitcher spot there. That goes to 1 for 15.
Since that Ahmed single, Maton has retired 4 straight. Here's Escobar. Doubled and scored in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 5th. Now he'll turn around and bat from the left-hand side, his power side. Boy, Escobar last night had 2 hits, homered, walked twice, scored 3 runs. Tonight 3 for 3, scored twice. What an addition he's been.
He really has been.
Leading the major leagues now with 43 doubles.
He's on pace for 56 doubles this season. D-backs record is 52 by Gonzo back in 06.
Got a fastball there, but missed it. 1-1.
If he could get to 55 or more doubles this season, he would set the all-time record for Venezuelan-born players for double plays. Back in 07, Maglio Ordonez.
Here's Mags.
There's Mags.
Here you go. Well, Escobar has done a tremendous amount of damage this year from the left side of the plate. He's got 83 hits against right-hand pitching this year. 52 of those hits have been for extra bases. That's amazing. He is slugging over .570 this year as a left-hand batter. 2-2. And that's really helped the Diamondbacks kind of balance out the lineup because they've missed Jake Lamb from that left side all year long. Jake coming off that shoulder problem. He got a breaking ball from Maton, couldn't hold up.
It's that hard slider that starts on the inner third of the plate. Looks like a pretty good pitch to swing at, and it just dive bombs down toward that back foot.
So Maton set down the last 5 he's faced. Base is empty, 2 down for A.J. Pollock, who has knocked in 2 runs tonight. A double and a sac fly. That one is poked down the line and fair. It's in the corner. AJ pulls in at second, his second double tonight. Here comes Goldie.
Fastball inside part of the plate. Hedges wasn't sure where that ball went off the bat of A.J. Pollock. He was looking up in the air. He thought it was popped up, but it was a line drive down in that corner for A.J.'s 18th double of the season.
Now here comes the spot, Bob. We talked about this earlier. Why in the world, if you don't absolutely have to, would you pitch to Goldie right now?
And if you're thinking, well, they're going to pitch around him, we know Goldie doesn't chase. So if you're going to pitch around him, this is what we got to with Barry Bonds back in the day. He's not going to chase pitches out of the zone, so just go ahead and walk him.
He is 3 for 3 with 3 RBI hits, 2 singles and a double. He got a fastball. 0-1. Goldie 16 for 32 on this road trip. That's a .500 batting average.
We talked about it in the open. To raise your batting average 11 points in the middle of August is unheard of in Major League Baseball.
Goldie knocks it into left. He's 4 for 4. Here comes A.J. Renfroe's throw is not in time, and we're tied at 6. He did it again. Goldie, 4 hits, 4 RBIs. Why would you pitch to him when you don't have to? First base open.
I think that's going to be the first question Andy Green has to answer after this ball game. I don't know. It just defies logic right there.
Renfroe's got a big-time throwing arm. He made it close. Woo, awfully close. A.J. looked like he just stuck that hand in there. Andy Green wants a moment to check the replay, and they will not challenge. 4 RBI hits and 4 at-bats.
He is so hot right now, I'd walk him with nobody on base.
That just didn't make any sense at all. Nothing against Steven Souza Jr. He's hit the ball really well lately, but I mean, Goldie's on a whole nother stratosphere right now.
A 14th 4-hit game of Goldie's career, the 3rd this season.
RBI singles in the 1st, the 3rd, and the 7th, an RBI double in the 5th. So Goldie has now, in the last 2 games, reached base safely in 9 consecutive plate appearances. Six hits and 3 bases on balls. That ties a Diamondbacks record done 4 previous times. Goldie did it last year. Mark Reynolds in 07. Raul Mondesi in 03 and Greg Colbert in 2000. Reached base safely in 9 straight plate appearances. Steven able to lay off that curveball. 1-2. Souza 0 for 3.
Goldie's not the only guy racking up the 4-hit games. In the last 7 years, Jose Altuve has 28 4-hit games.
Good Lord. 1-2. That one almost went to the screen. Well, Goldie since June the 1st came into the game batting .345, the highest average in the National League since June the 1st, and he's gone 4 for 4. So that number's going to go way up. Foul tip. Hedges hangs on. A.J. a 2-out double. Goldie 4 for 4, his 4th RBI. We're tied at 6. a 3-0 lead. We were tied at 3. D-backs led 5-3, then trailed at 6-5. Now we're even at 6. Goldie has reached base safely in 9 consecutive plate appearances, tying a Diamondbacks record. He is 4 for 4 tonight with 4 RBI hits. TJ McFarland back out there after a 1-2-3 6th inning. Hunter Renfroe leads it off for the Padres. Renfroe singled and scored in the 3-run Padre fourth against Zach Godley. Godley now off the hook for the loss. Zach tonight, 6 runs, all earned on 8 hits in 5. He walked 4, struck out 7. 100 pitches, 62 for strikes. Both bullpens are busy. Greg Stammen, the veteran right-hander, warming up for San Diego. Brad Ziegler, another veteran righty, getting busy for the Diamondbacks. Stammen has yet to appear in this series. Brad Ziegler threw 14 pitches in the ballgame last night. 2-2 on Renfroe. Spangenberg on deck, then the catcher Austin Hedges. Ketel Marte is there. 1 away. Well, it's reached that point, and it happened several months ago. If you hit it up the middle against the Diamondbacks, you're out.
Yeah, and if Ketel Marte doesn't make that play, that ball was hit so hard it probably splits the gap in right center. Renfroe at least on second, maybe third to start the inning, but just a couple steps to his left and a leap, and Ketel Marte there to take away a hit.
Spangenberg has walked. He's got an RBI single. He scored a run. Trying to bunt his way on against the left-hander. Spangenberg rarely ever sees lefties, only 6 for 37 all year against left-hand pitching. That's a 162 batting average. DJ just coming in there with a fastball. 0-2. Little low for Eric Cooper, just missed it below the knees. Got him. Second strikeout for TJ. He's retired all 5 he's faced.
That sinker down low in the zone. That one starts on the inside corner, tails off the plate inside. Spangenberg cannot hold up.
Right hand hitting Austin Hedges coming up. Brad Ziegler ready in the bullpen. Torey Lovello out to the mound. We'll take a break from San Diego, tied at 6. Colorado was down 3-0 in Atlanta in the 9th inning. They forced extras, then LeMahieu homered in the 10th. And the Rockies beat the Braves 5-3. Dodgers had the lead in Seattle until Kyle Seager, a 3-run home run off Rich Hill. It's 4-1 Mariners. They're in the third at Safeco. D-backs began the day a game and a half ahead of Colorado, 2 up on LA atop the NL West. Here in San Diego, they're tied with the Padres 6-6. TJ McFarland, another job well done. He set down all 5 he faced. Brad Ziegler on with the bases empty and 2 outs to face Austin Hedges. Hedges had an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 3. D-backs in the top of the 8th will have 6, 7, and 8 due up. Ahmed, Marte, and Murphy. Pitcher spot after that. Here's a chopper. Escobar has to hurry. And Eduardo Escobar makes the play. A 1, 2, 3, 7th at Petco Park. All even at 6.
The top half of the 8th inning, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Nick Ahmed will lead it off in the top of the 8th inning against the new pitcher for San Diego, the veteran right-hander Craig Stammen, who's been outstanding again this year. 54 appearances at 2.85 ERA. He's pitched scoreless baseball in 12 of his last 13 appearances. Jose Pirela takes over at second base for Corey Spangenberg. He'll bat 9th, pitcher spot now 5th in the Padres order. Ahmed singled his last time up, 1 for 3. D-backs got 2 in the first again. RBI hits by Pollock and Goldie. So they have now scored a run in the top of the first inning in 6 consecutive games on this road trip. Got another run in the third on another Goldie RBI hit. And they led it 3-0. Padres got 3 in the fourth to tie it against Zach Godley. Another one's fouled away. D-backs got 2 more back in the top of the 5th to take a 5-3 lead. Sac fly by A.J. Pollock, RBI double by Goldie. But then after a bumpy 4th, it was another 3-run 5th against Zach Godley. Padres led it 6-5. Diamondbacks got the equalizer on a couple of 2-out hits in the 7th. AJ doubled, Goldie an RBI single. And now Ahmed leads off the 8th. D-backs 9-3 against the Padres this year. 5-0 here at Petco Park. Sitting right now at a season high 13 games over 500. A little slow roller. Here comes Galvis on the run. And he gets Ahmed at first. One down for Stammen. Here's Ketel Marte 0 for 3. Breaking balls to strike, 0-1. Marte since the All-Star break hitting .295.
Well, when Stammen gets on top of that slider, it almost looks like a curveball. It has so much downward movement. Hardly any lateral movement at all.
Big breaker. Stammen had put together a 13 2/3 inning scoreless streak that was snapped here Monday against the Angels. There's another one, and Marte strikes out.
It's that hard slider again. Boy, it just bottoms out.
John Ryan Murphy, the catcher tonight, 0 for 3. Pitcher spot behind him, Daniel Descalso in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Ziegler. John Ryan, just his second start this month, his first since August 5th. Oh, and 2. Oh, and 2. Trying to get him on that fastball just off the plate, a little too far out there for Eric Cooper.
Yeah, good pitch, good location. If you're the Padres, started just off the outside corner. Maybe it works its way back. If not, you miss in your favor.
Went back to that slider. Stammen works a 1-2-3/8. We're tied at 6 at Petco Park. Bob Renly, Jody Jackson with you. D-backs and Padres, the third of a 4-game series. A wild one tonight. We're tied at 6. And on to face the lower third of the Padres order. Little new twist here. It's Archie Bradley, his 58th appearance of the year. He's given up runs in each of his last 2 outings on this road trip.
Maybe trying to get Archie back on track against the bottom of the order here. You know, it seems like with Archie, it's all about confidence. If he's feeling it, if he knows that he can go out there and blow fastballs by hitters and drop that curveball in there when necessary, it shows in his body language out there. And lately, Archie's kind of been searching for it. So maybe bringing him in here against the bottom of the Padres order, a chance to build his confidence back up.
Galvis has had a good night. He has singled twice and walked. He's knocked in 2 runs. And he's shown some pop with the bat lately. 5 homers in his last dozen games. He actually homered in 3 straight games earlier this week. Hits a fly ball deep right field. Souza backing up. He's at the wall and he's got it. It died out there at Petco. And allowed out number 1. Galvis gave it a ride.
What time is it? About 20 after 8. Marine Layer moving in here at night. If he hits that ball in the first inning, it probably gets out of here, but not tonight.
Well, Margot homered here last night. He's knocked in a run tonight with a sac fly, 0 for 2. First pitch curveball for a strike from Archie. That's a good sign. Archie said after his last appearance, there's another breaking ball. Maybe I'll start throwing a knuckleball, something else, other than just fastball, fastball, fastball all the time. A couple of good breaking pitches right there, 1-1. Something to give the hitters a different look. Fights off a fastball down the line and out of play. Bullpens have been busy for most of the night here. There's the right-hander Kirby Yates. He got the loss here Wednesday against the Angels. Inside with a fastball at 97. It's 2-2. Perela, the on-deck hitter. Another issue, Bob, it seems with Archie is not just the reliance on the fastball, but the occasionally spotty fastball command.
Yeah.
He's left some fastballs in some bad spots. Looked like he missed his spot that time to Murphy. And he threw a really nice curveball right there. A swing and a miss by Margot. Some good breaking balls in this sequence here to the Padres center fielder.
Yeah, much tighter breaking ball. There it is right there at the top of the zone. Another one just off the outside corner. Then he pounds a fastball at 96, buzzes the tower at 97. Gets a piece of that high fastball, but then flails at an 83-mile-an-hour curveball in the dirt. Our nationwide vision center's eye on the game.
Hard to recall an at-bat where we saw Archie throw more curveballs to one guy than what we just saw. A fastball into Perela, but against the call from Eric Cooper, it's 0-1. Perela 251, 3 homers, hitless in the series. He walked twice last night. Here's another curveball at another strike. It's 0-2. Well, this is very encouraging here. I mean, he's throwing those breaking balls in a 6-6 game in the 8th inning. You got to feel good about it right there. And then elevates the fastball and blows him away. An impressive outing for Archie Bradley. Gets us to the 9th, still tied. Our Gila River game summary. A rough 4th and 5th inning for Zach Godley, who threw 100 pitches to get through 5. The headliner has been Paul Goldschmidt, 4 for 4 tonight with 4 RBI hits. Goldie has reached base safely in 9 consecutive plate appearances dating back to last night's ball game, tying a Diamondback record. The pitcher spot leads off the D-backs 9th. Descalso hits for Bradley. Stammen back out there for San Diego. Daniel at 254 and 10 homers. First one lifted in the air, shallow left center. Margot can really cover some ground out there. 4 up, 4 down for Stammen. Leadoff man John Jay has singled twice and scored twice. Six runs, 12 hits for the Diamondbacks. They have left 5. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Padres. They've left 6. Rockies have 1 in Atlanta. The Dodgers are trailing at Seattle. Jay, the start in left field tonight. He's got 5 hits in the series.
Stammen has been a workhorse. This is his 135th career multi-inning relief appearance. That ranks him 3rd since '09. Matt Albers leads the list with 149 multi-inning appearances. Anthony Swarzak second with 138. Well, those guys are so valuable. Those guys that, we talk about Archie and the up downs. You don't want to bring him back after sitting down, especially after an outstanding inning like he had here tonight. A guy like Craig Stammen, he seems to thrive on those multi-inning appearances.
Well, this Padres bullpen, as we've mentioned, has been surprisingly very good this season. Certainly since the All-Star break. We saw that Thursday after Jacob Nix got chased in the first inning. Jay caught looking. 3rd strikeout for Stammen, 2 down in the 9th. Big night for Eduardo Escobar, 3 for 4. He has doubled, singled twice, and scored twice. Escobar, 6 hits in the series, fouls off a fastball, 0-1. Pereira at second, and Stammen retires all 6 he faces in the 8th and 9th. Bottom 9 in San Diego, still tied. Andrew Chafin, the fourth reliever used tonight by Torey Lovullo. Chafin's 59th appearance of the year, a 1.74 ERA. Brad Ziegler and Andrew Chafin, workhorses in the National League. Most of those Ziegler appearances, of course, coming with the Miami Marlins this year. We last saw Andrew Chafin work Tuesday's game in Texas. In fact, Chafin worked both of those games in Arlington. Jankowski, who singled and scored in the fifth, 1 for 4, leads off the Padre ninth. So far, D-backs bullpen, McFarland, Ziegler, Bradley have worked 3 scoreless innings in relief of Zach Godley. 3 hitless innings, in fact. Padres' last base hit was Austin Hedges' RBI single in the 5th.
Kind of an odd stat for the Diamondbacks bullpen. They rank first in the National League in bullpen ERA at 3.13, but dead last in strikeouts per 9 innings. They're just not a strikeout bullpen. Now Archie Bradley certainly is. Hirano can strike out some guys. Well, you think about TJ McFarland's a ground ball pitcher. Brad Ziegler's a ground ball pitcher. They just don't punch out as many guys as some of the other bullpens that have flamethrowers down there.
Kind of an old school feel to the D-back bullpen. Jankowski, as we mentioned when he faced TJ McFarland in the 6th inning, usually does not see left-handers. It's 2-2. He struck out against TJ in the 6th. Fastball just out there a bit too far for Eric Cooper. It's full 3-2. Will Myers on deck. Might be a spot to try and get Jankowski to chase his slider. Fastball misses up. He walks the speedy leadoff man. Winning runs aboard for the Padres. Jankowski can really run. Myers 1 for 4. Jankowski 20 stolen bases this year. He's only been caught 4 times. Andy Green has turned him loose on the bases this year. He has put the keys in Jankowski's hands and said, whenever you want to go, go. He has earned the trust of Andy Green. We'll see how they want to play it right here. He's the winning run. There's a fastball by Myers. Yoshi Hirano starts to get loose in the Diamondback bullpen. Yoshi got 3 outs on 6 pitches in the ball game last night. Another fastball. 0-2.
You can see from that shot we had Travis Jankowski going back to the bag as Andrew Chafin delivered the ball home. Just not getting a good read, at least so far, against Andrew Chafin.
Jankowski really does his homework. He looks at a lot of video. He's learned to make a science of studying the opposing pitchers. He's got tremendous speed. A couple of years ago, he stole 30, but he got caught 12 times. He's really improved that percentage. The numbers for Myers' career against Chafin. 0-2. Jankowski keeps going back to the first base bag. That slider missed. It's 1-2. Left hand hitting Eric Hosmer on deck. Skied way up in the air, short left. Here comes Jay. One out.
That's a home run in an elevator shaft. That ball was skied high in the air to the shallow left field. Just got under.
Well, it's been a good night for Hosmer. He has walked twice. He's got an RBI double. He scored 2 runs. Rounded out against T.J. McFarland, the left-hander, to win the 6th. That's something that Hosmer does an awful lot. Colorado's Ian Desmond, the only player in the majors who hits the ball on the ground more often than Eric Hosmer. See if Chafin can roll a double play ball right here. Fastball up and in.
Now Hosmer's grounded into 14 double plays this year. Christian Villanueva with 12. The only 2 Padres in double digits in grounding into double plays.
That's a big reason why Hosmer's slugging percentage has dropped 100 points from last year in Kansas City when he had 25 home runs. Fastball is low, 2-0. Jankowski not even really getting that big a lead over there at first. Goldie holds him on the bag. Renfroe with the on-deck man. Skip Schumacher down there coaching at first for the Padres. Schumacher was saying the other day that Jankowski is the best base stealer he's ever played with or coached, which is saying something.
Yes, it is.
See what they want to do with Hosmer ahead in the count 2-0. Jankowski again going back to the bag at first. Hosmer takes a wild swing at a fastball in. Jankowski's over there looking for one thing with every pitcher. He's looking for one move. If he doesn't see it, he doesn't go. That's really helped him cut down on the caught stealings. He's only been caught 4 times all year. Again, leaning back to the bag at first. The fastball is a strike, and it's 2-2. Slider is in the dirt. Full count, 3-2.
Nice block by John Ryan Murphy that time. Looked like it got him right in the biceps, the right biceps that time.
Well, that's a big block because Jankowski moves up. Suddenly a single can win the game. Full count, 3-2. Jankowski holds, and Hosmer hits a tapper to first. Goldie's got it. And they get the second out. The winning run now in scoring position for Hunter Renfroe. You've got the right-hander Hirano warming up in the bullpen. Lavello coming out. He's in no hurry. And he will go to the right-hander Yoshi Hirano. Padres have the winning run at second, 2 outs in the 9th. Back after this. Jankowski, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. A long meeting at the mound just broke up a moment ago. Here's the right-hander Yoshihisa Hirano on to face Hunter Renfroe. Yoshi came on and worked in the ball game last night. The 6th inning, got 3 outs on 6 pitches.
In his last 10 games, he's thrown 10 innings and given up 1 earned run. He's held the opponent scoreless in 27 of his 29 games on the road this season.
Renfroe will be the hitter. Pitcher spot is behind him, and Christian Villanueva's in the on-deck circle. Mike Butcher on the phone. Renfroe tonight singled and scored in the 4th. He's 1 for 4. And you get the feeling with a free swinger like Renfroe, a guy that will chase a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. You might see some splitters, but with first base open, they're going to walk him and work to Villanueva. This is interesting. Villanueva's a guy that does almost all his damage against left-handers, so they like the right-on-right matchup here. And of course, Renfroe's run is meaningless down there at first. So it's Yoshi and Villanueva. Christian Villanueva, 235, 20 homers. A couple of hits in the series. He doubled in the ball game last night. Here's the split, 1-1.
Well, if you're a Diamondbacks infielder right now, you're reminding yourself and your teammates to your right and left to dive and knock anything down you can't get to cleanly. Keep that ball out of the outfield right here.
Another splitter, down and in. 1-2 on Christian Villanueva. Kirby Yates was warming up earlier in the ball game in case we get to the 10th. Jankowski, the winning run at second. Split finger.
Villanueva's been a 176 hitter as a pinch hitter over the course of his career. In this particular situation, 2 outs with runners in scoring position, 5 for 33 in his career. That's a 152 average.
Fastball up and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Austin Hedges, the catcher, would be next. That's a base hit. Here comes Jankowski, and the Padres win the ball game. Diamondbacks lead atop the National League West, drops to a half game over Colorado. And they lose at Petco Park for the first time this year. Christian Villanueva, the walk-off winner.
A splitter that just stayed there at the bottom of the strike zone. The one he threw earlier in the sequence down there ended up nearly in the dirt. That one just kind of fluttered up there, stayed in the zone long enough for Villanueva to line it into left field.
So it's a 7-6 San Diego win. In a game the Diamondbacks led 3-0 and 5-3. Christian Villanueva walks it off. Back with much more from Petco Park right after this.